But Marilyn Manson's back, basically. He has a new song out. I know you're a huge fan, Joey.
Actually, some couple of his albums are really good.
Some of them are really good.
I love a couple of his songs. You know.
So this is the controversy, I guess. The controversy. Let me show you guys this. And
I like Marilyn Manson's earlier stuff. I haven't really followed his music after like 2010.
Yeah, the first couple records, like the Portrait of American Family, is probably my favorite. But
what's the other one?
Antichrist Superstar or Mechanical Animals.
I think that the one with I forgot the lyric or the song name.
Holywood or
Dope
Listen
Show.
to Dustin just rattle these things off like they're out of nowhere.
Yeah,
He does this. He does this all the time.
Golden Age of the
Because
Grotesque.
he's a closet Manson fan.
I'm not a closet Manson fan. I love Manson.
Okay, all right.
So look what Metal the Hammer said. They go, Marilyn Manson is back. His return highlights how little the music industry cares about protecting women.
I saw that.
Hey, I don't know about
I saw
that, man.
So I wanted to. There's this.
Did you click on it?
It wasn't under the Brutal Planet account, but I left a very sarcastic comment.
Dustin, you're gonna get us banned again.
No. Believe me, it wasn't. This was on Twitter, free speech on Twitter,
all right.
and it wasn't under the Brutal Planet account. I wouldn't do that.
They posted it on Instagram too, because I saw
Did
it
they?
on my Instagram. So they posted it like everywhere. You know, it's.
It wasn't that bad either. Like what I said, I think I said something like "delete your account, LOL," because this is so. Anyway, there is a account on Twitter called Colonel Kurtz, and she does. She's like a kind of a Manson fan, so I wanted to show you. Like she kind of has like a breakdown of this case a little bit, because I think the problem with stuff like this is most people just hear like, oh, Marilyn Manson abused women, and they're like, oh, of course he did. He's Marilyn Manson. He's a piece of shit, you know? And I think that's the general consensus. It's like same with Johnny Depp. It was like when Johnny Depp was accused of abusing Amber Heard, everyone just went, oh, he's a piece of shit. Of course he is. He's a pirate, whatever. But then you talk to, you know, when the reporters talk to like his ex-wife and his kids, and you're like, no, he's never abusive, you know? So I just want to show you. Let's watch this for a minute, and feel free to jump in at any point, because it's this clip itself is like, I think 5 minutes long or something.
Model Ashley Morgan Smithline was one of Manson's most high-profile accusers, but now she says the abuse never happened and she was pressured into saying it did by Wood. She claims Wood and another accuser, Esme Bianco, told Smithline that she may just be repressing the memory.
So if you thought the Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation was interesting, you're going to find the story that I have for you to be pretty fascinating. Some of you know that in 2020...
Did either of you guys pay attention at all to the Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing?
Yeah. So I'm going to say one thing really quick. She kind of looks like Rachel Maddow.
I could see that if Rachel Maddow had like a full head of hair.
Yeah,
rock star Marilyn Manson was the subject of various Me Too type allegations. Now, Marilyn Manson's best known accuser, the Westworld actress Evan Rachel Wood, actually made a documentary, a 2-part documentary that aired on HBO called Phoenix Rising. This was directed by Wood's friend Amy Berg, and the subject of the entire 2-part documentary was Marilyn Manson. It was a takedown piece of Marilyn Manson. Now, Marilyn Manson was also sued by 4 of his accusers. One of those suits has already been dismissed by the judge. And Marilyn Manson, in March, before the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial had even started, sued Evan Rachel Wood and her former girlfriend, Ilma Gore, for a range of things, including intentional infliction of emotional distress, computer fraud, defamation, and impersonation. So what the heck is up with all of this? Why is Manson suing? And why do I believe that Marilyn Manson is innocent and is the victim of a Me Too hoax? Let's talk about it. So this all began...
So that's kind of the tone of this, basically. This lady's kind of like explaining the case and why she thinks he's innocent.
In 2006, when Marilyn Manson started dating Evan Rachel Wood, she was 19 when they started dating. She was 18 when they met at the Chateau Marmont, and he was in his late 30s. Now, Evan at this point was already a kind of established actress. She had been working for many years in the industry since childhood. She had already been on TV shows and in movies, and had just starred opposite Edward Norton in a noir film. So Evan's recent statements about Marilyn Manson being controlling and abusive are in contradiction
She put some, like,
to
ominous
many
music.
statements that she made, not only at the time when she was dating him, but for years after their relationship, even after their relationship had ended. She said in interviews that people would be shocked by how healthy their relationship was, that he gave her complete freedom, that he was not controlling, that he allowed her to be herself. And of course, she said in multiple interviews that Heart-Shaped Glasses, that music video, was not real sex and that she loved doing that video. Now, of course, she disavows all of these interviews now, but I'm just putting them out there because they are of some significance. Then in 2016 is the first time that we hear from Evan that she says that she has been sexually assaulted before. She said in a Rolling Stone article that she was assaulted by a significant other and by
the owner of a
bar. Now, what's interesting is that elsewhere in the same interview, she talks about Marilyn Manson in a different context. Clearly, if you read the whole article, it seems quite evident that Marilyn Manson is likely not the significant other that she's referring to in the article. So that is a bit odd there, but nothing conclusive for sure. But all of this starts to add up after a while. Now, Evan has recently made the claim that the music video Heart-Shaped Glasses was not simulated sex, but that actually Manson raped her on the set of Heart-Shaped Glasses, that what we're seeing in the music video is actually a rape, that she was intoxicated, completely wasted out of her mind, couldn't consent, and also that she felt horrible after she did this. Now, not only she said in multiple interviews that the simulated sex was not real, in fact, I interviewed someone on my channel, on my YouTube channel. She was present in the room at the time that the simulated sex scene was filmed. She was actually one of the few people that were actually in the room itself when it was filmed. And she says that not only was the sex not real, but that she talked to Evan a lot before and after, and Evan was not intoxicated at all, was not only coherent, but was very active in the planning of these scenes, was very enthusiastic about the scenes, and was cheerful before and after, and at no point did anyone seem uncomfortable, Vanessa says.
Well, I think everybody knew that it was very much, simulated, and both of them had underwear on.
There was nothing that you saw with your eyes that to you, like they're having sex.
Not at all.
Did it appear that she was being pressured or coerced?
No, not at all. They both were very, very much into it, and they would converse with each other in between shots to see what they wanted to do next. And I was speaking to both of them, and there was jokes being made, yelling across each other to set and everything like that.
Now, interestingly, Vanessa also was friends with Manson and with Evan Rachel Wood. She said she never saw any abuse, and she said that Manson was never abusive to her or predatory toward her, nor did she notice it in his behavior with any other women. All right? And this was someone who was pretty close to Manson. Leslie.
So, what do you guys think?
It's interesting how quick people just don't ask questions, because I don't completely disregard anything that she's went through, but it's also, there's two sides, he's also, there's information that's not out there,
Yeah.
Anyone who's been in a relationship knows that it's two-sided.
Like I said too, it's easy to view because of his persona and who he is, it's easy to go oh, of course.
Well, and he's been hated forever, people have always hated him, so it's just
So I'll show one more quick clip, but this is about the FBI thing. She goes into the details about the FBI hoax thing.
And this is in Marilyn Manson's lawsuit. You can see the actual letter. Evan and her co-conspirator Il McClure, they typed up a fake FBI letter. They put a real FBI agent's name on there, but it was a fake letter alleging that Marilyn Manson was under investigation for these crimes and that Evan Rachel Wood was an essential witness. And she filed this fake FBI letter in family court as further evidence of why she needed to go to Tennessee with the child.
So there's a whole subplot that I didn't kind of clip out, but she has a kid by this other guy that she was married to before Manson.
Really?
Yeah. And the kid's dad likes Manson, and she was trying to say that she was trying to get the kid. She wanted to move to Nashville or something. So she was trying to find a reason to get the kid away from the dad. And she was using this as a way to say, oh, I'm in fear of my life, so I have to flee and I need to take my son with me.
interesting.
You know what else she did with this fake FBI letter? And by the way, Manson's team verified with the FBI that it's fake. What else did Evan do with this fake FBI letter? She and her co-conspirator, Ilma Gore, distributed it to the women that they tried to recruit to go after Manson as a way of inducing the women to join with them, as if to say, look, don't worry, you can say bad things about this guy because, hey, he's already being under investigation by the FBI, and he's under investigation. He's a bad guy. And so, of course, then it made it that much easier for these women to join in with their lives because they felt that they were taking a bad guy down. And when I say Evan recruited a lot of women, in order to explain, we need to talk about Ilma Gore, Evan Rachel Wood's co-conspirator. Ilma Gore, she is an habitual hoaxer. She has made up a lot of stories. She has ripped people off. I interviewed one of them on my channel. She's also a gender activist. And so she and Evan Rachel Wood began to get close around about the time that Evan Rachel Wood began talking about her supposed abuse. Around about this time, Evan Rachel Wood began to work on the Phoenix Act, a bill that she co-wrote, ended up becoming law in California that would extend.
So she actually got into politics because of this too.
The statute of limitations on domestic violence. She did speeches, activist type speeches on bisexuality and stuff like that, and became much more vocal about her bisexuality and about women's issues. And she began talking about her abuse. Now, Ilma Gore, Evan's ex, is a major player in Phoenix Rising. She is the co-star of that documentary. So my theory is that when Evan got together with Ilma, there was a kind of a perfect.
Anyway, that's pretty much what I got. But
That's interesting.
Yeah, like the whole FBI forgery thing, that's crazy. That's like totally illegal.
It just feels like someone wants money.
And she's a famous actress too, but like same with Amber Heard. It was like Amber Heard was an independently famous, I would imagine, like doing all right actress on her own.
I had never heard of Evan Rachel
I was about to say,
until
I've never
this
heard
whole
of her.
thing happened.
Oh, you've never seen Westworld? Oh, that's such a good series. I love that series.
She's in other stuff too. Like she was an actress. Like she was a young actress.
Yeah, she was.
Even Amber Heard. I only know Amber Heard because really of the Johnny Depp thing and
The
she
Rum
was in
Diaries.
that. She had that. I think it was like Aquaman. She was in or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot.
She got a role in that. She's been in other stuff, but I never knew.
She was in that movie with Johnny Depp called Rum Diaries. And
Okay.
the movie was not that good, but like when I saw the movie, I was like, "Who is that? Oh my goodness!"
Yeah.
And so when Johnny Depp married her, I was like, Can you blame the guy?
I only knew her from a movie called Never Back Down.
Okay, she's been in a lot of stuff.
I believe you. I just don't watch a lot of stuff, and I just find it funny when these actresses, I've never even heard of them. You know?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, Evan Rachel Wood. It was interesting when Manson, because dude, Manson has also been with like Dita Von Teese. He was married to her, and he was with Rose McGowan. Even Rose McGowan. Rose McGowan was like one of the first people to come out against Harvey Weinstein, and she was like, "No, Manson was never abusive to me."
Exactly.
I don't want to defend Manson either, though, because
Because we don't know, Joey. I mean,
that's
you're
the
right.
thing. I mean, I know that most of what he is a stage persona.
Mm-hmm.
However, I've read his book. I think he's been a freak and stirs up controversy for a reason. And I don't want to give him a pass either.
That's fair.
Good,
I'm not
good
trying to
call,
give him a
Joey.
pass.
I totally agree with you, Joey. And I would just have to say on top of that, as far as what it comes down to me, the godfather of all of Marilyn Manson
would say
is
this.
Alice Cooper, you know, and Alice Cooper said, you can't be that person 24/7.
Right.
You've got to separate that person from who you are in your normal life, or else you just can't maintain that lifestyle. And that's what almost ruined Alice Cooper. Is he tried to be Alice Cooper 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Marilyn Manson tries too hard, and he needs to realize that there's a time and a place to be Marilyn Manson, and then there's a time and a place to be whatever is real.
Brian Warner.
Brian Warner.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I totally agree.
You know, there's a time for a stage persona, and there's not a time for a stage. And that's always been my biggest problem with Marilyn Manson, is he doesn't know where to separate that.
And I think this kind of thing is what brings him to his senses.
Yeah,
It humbles him a bit.
sure.
Yeah.
I have heard interviews of him though too, where he's like, he looks really weird and freaky, but yet he's the most intelligent guy in the room.
Yeah.
You
I
know, and it's
agree.
like, if you could just be that more often, you might not stir up this type of controversy.
I mean,
agree.
also, there's the reality that like she's half his age. She's like 19, and he's my
That
age.
does look sketchy.
Yeah, I mean that if you start from there, it's easy to make him the bad guy. But
Correct.
he also, you know,
But that doesn't make him guilty either.
no, exactly. And that's why I wanted to cover this stuff just a
Yeah.
little bit, because I feel like it's the side of things most people don't see. And that's why, like with the Metal Hammer thing, I'm like, oh, Metal Hammer just right out took a side, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
it's
come on,
not
Metal
just
Hammer.
one-sided. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
They're just like, does Marilyn Manson? So, like, I would ask Metal Hammer. It's like, okay, aside from this case, does Marilyn Manson have a track record? Maybe he does. Does he have a track record of like hitting women on the road and stuff, or like being like abusive to women on the road? I mean, I haven't heard. I would think that
No.
if he did, we would know about it
Yeah.
by now.
I
Anyway,
agree.
that's the other side of the story. Not necessarily saying Marilyn Manson didn't do something wrong, but you know,